Hello friends, my name is Sybil Sixpence. Today we're building a cozy cottagecore greenhouse with a potting shed perfect for plants, not people. If some of these blocks look a little extra cute, it's because I'm using the Mizuno 16 Craft Resource Pack. I'll leave the description so you can grab it too. Here's your full materials list on the screen. Go ahead and pause, gather your blocks, and come build this little greenhouse with me. So this build is actually in two sections. You're going to have an 11 by 9 and a 6 by 7, and overall it is a 15 by 11 block space. Some terraforming may be needed, as you'll see that periodically I will do a little bit of terraforming when I see that what I am building doesn't quite fit. It's okay, because even the most perfect lands that you can find can still be molded to fit your need. I am using polished granite and polished granite slabs for the foundation. I will go back in there and mix in some texturing for the primary part of the walls of the greenhouse. I am going to be using cyan stained glass. Right now it does show the light blue stained glass, but when I get the roof in there and I just see how busy everything is, I do go back and change it. This is your build. If you're not liking any of the styles that are in your texture pack, or if you have a different type of texture pack that gives you something else, use it instead. This is your build once it's in your world. Each corner of my build is stripped spruce logs, and then I'm going to proceed with some spruce stairs to make the roof with. At the keystone level of my roof I am using spruce slabs, but at the ends of the roof I am using a spruce plank, and that's just to kind of give it a little bit of some texturing and a kind of architectural feature. Once I am satisfied with the structure of the roof, I'm going to go in with my cyan stained glass and I'm going to start filling in the primary greenhouse portion of the build. Some of the places that I have glass are just there as placeholders, and I will go back in and break those glasses and fill them in with moss and spruce stairs. So we're just going to put that on hold for a minute while I trade out the cyan stained glass for the light blue glass, because I have just realized how busy my greenhouse is. And remember, it's your build the way that you want. For the potting shed portion of the build, we're going to be filling in those parts of the roof with some moss, and we'll come back and blend that moss into the glass in a minute. I am placing the floor down right now with some spruce planks, and I'm doing that in both the greenhouse and the potting shed. I have broken open some 2x4 windows and then using a debug stick to bend the window stairs into corner stairs. So using some birch planks with one birch stair and an acacia gate fencing and some spruce doors, I am framing out the window. I'm using oak stairs to kind of blend out the difference between the lower portion and the gable portion of the house, and lining that with polished granite. So now in blending the potting shed into the greenhouse itself, I'm just kind of placing some spruce stairs at a diagonal and mixing in the moss blocks before and after the stairs so that it looks like it's still a little overgrown. And then I'm going to kind of move around some stairs and some mossy blocks so that it looks more organic. So part of the wall that goes right up into the gable part of the roof, I'm just using plain clear glass, and then I'm going to trim that out with some spruce trap doors to divide the bottom part or the room part of the greenhouse from the gable part of the greenhouse, which we could use to put more plants and some more, greenery up there if you wanted to, just however you want to use it. More granite slabs for the entranceway and bone milling that moss and adding some leaves to the roof to give it a little bit of a more overgrown feel. I think it looks lovely. I am using azalea leaves and flowering azalea leaves to create this. I do go back and I add some vines in there just for texturing and as well as kind of a dangling look. I am going to go around the house, and anywhere that I feel like I have not extended some stripped spruce logs, I'm going to pull that out and I'm going to tip those with some cherry buttons. Okay, so now for the interior part, I am using spruce doors to create shelves. I'm putting them at various levels because my plan is to put clay pots as well as regular pots around, as well as some custom heads that's going to represent some planting. Just give a lot of variety. In the middle, I am using some barrels, also can double up as extra storage, and putting some spruce doors to trim those out around, and then just randomly placing some barrels in the potting portion of the greenhouse for decorations. Of course, extra storage. And so the potting shed is being lined with some spruce planks and spruce stairs, and then adding some lanterns in there for lighting, and then covering that up with some spruce trap doors, and of course decorating with some cherry buttons. Okay, so from here it's about what you have ability to use. So if you are playing all by yourself and you can put in a command block, there is a website that I use. I'll put it in the link below, but there's more than one different type of website that you can use to bring in some custom heads. Just plug that into your command block if it's too long to use in your regular command, and just start generating all of the different kinds of custom blocks that you would like to use. Pumpkins, melons, apple bushels, flower bushes, potted plants, even books, like if you wanted to have books about plants in there, and have those on shelves. Also, if you have the ability to use invisible item frames, you can put things on the wall that looks like you're drying out plants like wheat, flour, and saplings. You just turn them upside down. It looks like you're just having dried out flowers. I really think that's an excellent touch to a greenhouse. It just adds a lot of personality. Of course, this is without saying that I'm also going to put in actual melons and actual pumpkins, like the vanilla kind, and the clay pots and the regular pots that you can actually put vanilla Minecraft flowers into it, and just put those in different areas out and around, and just make this really, really pretty. Something else is that you can actually turn the potting portion of the house into like a little shop if you were actually playing on like a multiplayer server. It allowed you to have custom blocks, or invisible item frames, or however you want to do it. If you don't have access to these custom items, you can still put regular item frames up there and still hang the plants upside down. It'll look fine both ways. Either way is fine. Just remember that it doesn't have to be exactly identical to the way that I put my world in. You build it the way that you want it. Okay, so lighting everywhere, especially if you are in a survival world. So not only am I putting lighting on the inside of my greenhouse with chains and lanterns, or hanging lanterns, but coming out here and putting it outside as well. We don't want surprises, we want safety. But also, continuing with that, we are going to extend our gardening with some hanging potted plants and some more clay plants, some azalea bushes, both flowering, the regular kind, putting in a moss block, just hitting that with a bone meal once, you're done. It'll give you exactly what you want, especially if you want the overgrown random look. So just put that on both sides of the house, or really everywhere you see fit. For the vines, you definitely want to use something like string so that your vines won't grow past a certain level, and there you have it. One cottagecore greenhouse for your town. Alright friends, that's our cozy cottagecore greenhouse and potting shed all finished. If you enjoyed hanging out today, please tap that like button and consider subscribing. It really helps grow this little channel. If you want more build-along tutorials, I've got a whole playlist of cottagecore and cozy builds waiting for you, so feel free to binge what's next. And if there's something you would love to see me build in a future video, drop your ideas down below in the comments. I read them all, and you never know, your idea might be the next episode. Bye-bye!